Anyways, everybody, Pep Star will get there eventually. I'm so excited to see you here on a Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Hope you had a great weekend. I hope you're pumped for the week. You already accomplished some stuff on a President's Day. Maybe sat back and relaxed a little bit and had a good time with your families and your friends and you gave somebody a hug and said you love them. I don't know. But anyways, it's Tuesday. We're back into work. There's things happening. Doesn't matter if it's a Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday, any day in between and all that time. There's always a lot of breaking news. Come on. All right, the very first thing that I want to talk about right now is the People's Choice Awards that went down this weekend. And I know Rachel's probably excited about this because Barbie just swept these things pretty big time. I mean, Barbie got Best Movie, Comedy, Best Male Star, Best Female Star, Performance of the Year, Collaboration Song with Barbie World and Aqua. And I mean, that was massive for Aqua too. They're probably freaking super stoked. And Oppenheimer got Drama Movie. And you know what? They did a little thing, a little honorary to Nolan, but overall, Barbie did sweep this almost completely. And of course, The Bear won some awards. A lot of the same people that we've seen before. I mean, Margot Robbie was the actress, of course, and Ryan Gosling for Barbie. They did great. Comedy, you had No Hard Feelings. You had Jenna Ortega for Scream 6 for Best Drama Movie Star. I mean, there's a lot of things here. Grey's Anatomy won. Only Murders in the Building won a few awards. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of the People's Choice Awards. It's all right, but they did a good job just kind of giving the people what they wanted. And of course, people wanted Barbie a lot. So Barbie did fantastic at these award shows. And honestly, good for Barbie, good for Greta Gerwig, and good for the whole cast and crew that put that movie together. And you know what? We'll see what happens at the Oscars coming up pretty soon. But I tell you what's not going to be at the Oscars is Madam Web, because Madam Web's numbers have come out, everybody. We talked about how bad it was going to do. We had that conversation. Well, its 3-day opening weekend, it made $17.6 million in the U.S. Now, if you break it down for their 6-day opening weekend, it only made $25.8 million. Now they were hoping for 27 million, 26 million. So didn't do too well for Madam Web. And now it's even coming close, right, GR? But they're actually saying that there's $80 million budget. Now there's more than that. Maybe it's closer to a $100 million budget. They're fudging the numbers so it doesn't look as bad as they lose for all the products out there. So you know what? It doesn't matter, because Dakota Johnson, she said that she wasn't going to watch the movie. She said she probably won't see it. And she doesn't watch her movies. She said that's why she's not going to see it. Not the fact that it bombed so bad. Not the fact that she was lied to about the script and it changed. No, she said she just doesn't watch it for her own self-healing. And she doesn't want to have an existential crisis by watching her own work.
Thank you, Queen.
Queen, that's good. No, I'm going to watch it. I was going to go watch it, but I've been sick with COVID, so I haven't had a chance to go watch it yet. I don't want to spread the Rona around the world, but I will go see it once the Rona's done. But yeah, I do want to see it. I heard some, that's thing. You got to go into it with low expectations, just enjoy it for being a movie, a popcorn flick, and maybe you'll find some enjoyment in it too. But the ticket sales also, they said, floundered because people were asking for their money back. That's what the studios were, the theaters were saying, that people were asking for their money back, which also hurt the box office. So everybody needs to just take a second, relax, and meditate with Kung Fu Panda, because if you haven't seen this, Kung Fu Panda right now just released a 4-hour meditation session. All right. So if you're a fan of Jack Black and you're a fan of just chilling out with a panda bear, you and a panda, maybe farting once in a while, licking something, I don't know. 4 hours long. This is a real thing. It's out there to promote the new movie coming out that's dropping on March 8th. So if you're a fan of Kung Fu Panda, maybe everybody that all that's mad about Madam Web needs to take a minute and chill with Kung Fu Panda. Just take a breath. Take a little breather. Take a breather, because it's going to be okay in the end. Just like American Idol will be okay in the end when Katy Perry actually leaves. Now, this came forward. We knew this last week, but Lionel Richie just recently said, and I used that in Jimmy Kimmel Live, and he was talking about how does he feel about this, being a judge with her for a long time. And he said, honestly, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. He didn't make a joke. He said it just made me run off the road when I first heard about it, and that his phone was blowing up. But he said that he understands she has a whole career ahead of her, and there's a lot of stuff she may want to do. And, he actually says, let her go off and do it. She's done a great job on the show, and it'll be okay. And he was totally fine with it. But someone that's not fine is George Santos, because he's really pissed at Jimmy Kimmel too, because Jimmy Kimmel has been, doing these whole cameo things. Now, if you haven't seen these, Jimmy Kimmel's been paying for him to do cameos, because after he got kicked out of the House of Representatives, he started doing cameos for people, which a lot of celebrities do that. We know a lot of people have done this. And then Jimmy Kimmel started getting about 14. He paid for about 14, making him say the most ridiculous things and airing it on TV. Well, now George Santos is suing Jimmy Kimmel over this whole thing, and he's suing him for $750,000. $750,000, and he's just saying that this is just like it was a lie. He said that the videos were for the sole purpose of capitalizing on ridiculing him and making him look like a joke. And so he's like, I'm going to sue him because he just made me look bad on TV, and it was all bullshit pretty much. So we'll see how this plays out. But I'm not shocked something like this happened. I'm not shocked, but I'm also like, Jimmy Kimmel was playing with fire doing this too. He probably knew something like this could happen too. So we'll see how this plays out. Will he get $750,000? Probably not, but something's going to happen, I think. Something's going to happen, maybe. I don't know.
Did you see any of those skits, Brian?
I did see them.
So funny.
He was saying the most ridiculous shit. I'm like, this is what people do for money on the internet, This is what people do. I'm like, he just read because that's what happens. You get paid to do this stuff. And it's pretty funny. And I was like, well, that could be a problem later. It was. It's a problem now. But it's not as big a problem as Zachary Ty Bryan, who's been drinking and driving again and was arrested. So he, of course, is home improvement star. He's been around for a long time. We just talked about the domestic abuse charges with his wife not too long ago. And of course, he has like a bunch of charges. He got a bunch of felony DUI charges, 3 felony priors, and a misdemeanor contempt of court. And now he's being charged again for a DUI. He was caught drinking and driving again, of course. Officers were conducting a traffic stop shortly after 2 a.m. when they saw a vehicle that was suspected of being involved in a traffic collision. It was him. They pulled him over, and of course, he was arrested. He was released that same day for a $50,000 bond, and then he's going to go back to court on April 23rd. But he's already had a lot of problems this year. He probably doesn't need any more, but it sounds like the guy's going through a rough time in his life, so hopefully no one's hurt anymore, and he can change his ways, because drinking and driving is not cool, and a lot of people can get hurt really badly. So he's going to pay a lot of money. He's going to pay a lot of money, and hopefully he'll learn something from it, but he might not. But someone else who paid a lot of money was somebody that found this Star Wars script, everybody. Harrison Ford's Star Wars script was left behind at an establishment he was staying on in Paris, and he left it there. Or maybe, I think it was actually London. It was in London, and he was just staying there, and he just left the script, and it was one of the initial drafts. It was the 4th draft of what we came to see in A New Hope, Star Wars: A New Hope. He just left it at the time. It was called The Adventures of Luke I can't even say it. Star Killer. Star Killer. Can I say it? The Adventures of Luke I still can't say it. It's the COVID thing. Star Killer. But it got auctioned off for over $13,000, and someone got this script. Harrison Ford didn't realize he left it behind when he left the London rental, and someone made a bunch of money off it. It's kind of funny that this has been there since March 15th, 1976. So someone's been holding on to this, and they're selling it, making, a few $1,000, so good for them. But also, speaking of sci-fi stuff, the Foundation's coming back, and I'm really excited they're about to start shooting finally, because they started before the strikes, and now they're finally back up. They resume March 6th in the Czech Republic, and also in Prague and Poland. I'm very jealous of people working on this project. I love this show. Last season was fantastic. It's just a big blockbuster thing that they couldn't do for years because the books were almost insane. Like, how do you make these movies or these books into a television show or a movie? And they figured it out in Apple TV Plus. So if you haven't seen the Foundation, please check it out. It's a lot of fun. But something I haven't seen yet, but it also is, again, about the end of the world, is Greenland. And they're getting a sequel to Greenland, too. So if you haven't seen this, Gerard Butler's coming back. And no, this was about a comet landing and crashing down, and him and his family are trying to get out of there. Of course, Marina from the Deadpool series, she's in too, playing his wife, and they get away from the whole thing, and they get into a bunker in Greenland. And now apparently the sequel is going to be after the comet Clark has decimated the whole Earth. The family must embark on a harrowing journey across the wasteland of Europe to find a new home. So I'm shocked it's getting a sequel, but it is. I do want a vacation, Lexi. I do. I might be going on a vacation very soon if I can. I might be doing that. I'm working on some things in my head. Everybody needs a vacation every once in a while. Not a work vacation, but a staycation. Staycation. But Greenland might be good. Hopefully it's good. I mean, honestly, they have to find a new home, and if they do find a new home, it's a fun post-apocalyptic movie, I'll watch it. But somebody else needs to find a new home, and has found a new home is Danny Masterson in a new jail. In a new jail, everybody. That's right. He found a new home because, hey, what's up, Tim? Thanks, guy came up to Kruse Control. I heard it's pretty good. But Danny Masterson's found a new home and new prison because the old prison, apparently, he was moved for what? Well, they were saying that he might be beaten up pretty soon. So people were about to attack him. They were fearing his safety. And so he was moved to a new prison now, and San Luis Obispo Obispo, if I can say that. And they're saying it's a much more watered down prison. It's less crazy as Charles Manson's prison where he was at before. And, people have been going nuts about him. He was trying to get out. We talked a lot about him trying to get out, trying to get appealed, trying to get out on bail. And they said he was a flight risk. A lot of things happened with him. And now there was an anti-Scientology protest disrupted too on Saturday at Franklin Village restaurant where he actually used to take Danny Masterson, used to take his victims before he raped them. So that's a fun fact for you. So yeah, a lot of breaking news, everybody. A lot of breaking news. But Danny Masterson, that's all I can say.